Oppo recently released a new phone in late 2020, which is the Oppo A15, and just a couple of months later released a newer version, which is the Oppo A15s. Today we're going to review a full review of the Oppo A15s. Also, since April is my birthday month, I'll be giving away this exact phone for my birthday giveaway. I'll be announcing the instructions in this full review video, so make sure to watch the whole video. Hello world, my name is cocomarTech and this is my review of the Oppo A15s. Welcome to an episode of
TT with cocomarTech.
We'll start with the unboxing. Inside this plain white box are, of course, some paperworks, a SIM ejector tool, a 10-watt charger brick, a micro USB cable, which is disappointing, a clear silicone case, and a plastic screen protector which is already installed on the phone. At the left side of the phone, you have a dual nano SIM card tray with 4G LTE connectivity, plus a dedicated micro SD card slot wherein you can expand the memory up to 256 gigabytes. At the right, you have the volume rocker and the power button. At the bottom, you have a 3.5mm headphone jack port, a microphone, the bottom firing speaker, and the very disappointing micro USB 2.0 port. For the build quality, the Oppo A15s has a plastic back and a plastic frame. I have here the blue version, which is simple but at the same time still stylish. You also have a dynamic black and a fancy white color. It's not super fancy at all, but the finish is still nice to look at, as a prism design shows when the light hits this plastic back, so more or less comparable to the glass-stick finish by Samsung. You also have the squared camera layout on the upper left, which we will discuss later, and the fingerprint scanner, which is circular in shape and just below the camera layout. The fingerprint scanner is quick and accurate. It also has a 2D face scan unlock, which is also fast and reliable, but since it's a 2D scan, it's not as secure compared to the fingerprint scanner. At front, it has the teardrop notch style, and we have here small bezels at the sides, except of course for that large bezel at the bottom. For the screen display, it has a 6.52-inch IPS LCD screen with 720 by 1600 pixels, a pixel density of 269 pixels per inch, a screen-to-body ratio of 83%, and an aspect ratio of 20:9. This is a great 720p display. Blacks are deep and the colors are vibrant and punchy. Although you can notice pixelations for icons and you can only watch 720p videos for Netflix, YouTube, and other apps. It's still a good screen display. It's brighter than usual phones within the same price range, and it can be maxed at 480 nits. And the viewing angles are also amazing, which are the usual problems for LCD displays for entry-level smartphones. If you love watching and playing with your phone, then this is a good choice for you. Speaking of, if you love gaming, the Oppo A15s has a 12nm octa-core MediaTek Helio P35 chipset and a PowerVR G8320 for the GPU, 4GB of RAM, and 64GB of internal storage. But there's also a 128GB variant, but I haven't seen the 128GB version here in the Philippines. The performance of the MediaTek P35 is a little better than the Snapdragon 625 since it's with a 2.5% faster CPU speed and 665MHz higher RAM speed, but the Adreno GPU that is partnered with the Snapdragon chipset performs better than the PowerVR GPUs. So theoretically speaking, phones with MediaTek chipset will be faster as to opening apps and such, but the phones with Adreno GPUs perform better with games. Playing games with the Oppo 15s is still not a bad experience. Yes, you can experience lags and frame drops, but not to a point where it ruins the experience. For Mobile Legends, there are occasional stutters, especially with 5v5 clashes, but playing is still nice. Same goes with Wild Rift. Experience is still good as the display is bright and punchy, and the lags and frame drops are only occasional. Call of Duty is smoother than the experience of Mobile Legends and Wild Rift. No stutters and no lags at all, and frame drops were rare. Also, the phone performs better in terms of heating compared to the phones within the same price range, and the Genshin Impact is also playable, but the graphics settings should be set to low for the best overall experience, as it's really laggy when set to medium and above. Okay, break time. If you want to win this Oppo A15s, just follow these instructions. If not, if you just want to continue watching this review video, you can skip. This review is organized through a timeline anyway, here on the screen. So the instructions: number 1, follow and like my Facebook page, cocomarTech. Number 2, follow me on Instagram, which is also cocomarTech. Number 3, follow me on TikTok, which is also cocomarTech. And number 4, lastly, comment below by answering this question. What is the smallest thing that you can do to improve our society? Or in Filipino or Tagalog, ano ang pinakamaliit na kontribusyon na pwede mong ibigay sa ating lipunan? I really want you to answer this wholeheartedly because I'm genuinely concerned about our country. And by commenting and answering this question, I hope it gives hope to our fellow Filipinos, even just for a little bit. So those are the very easy steps. I'll be announcing the winner on my Facebook page on April 30. Unfollowing my social media accounts will make you ineligible for the next giveaway, so support me. It's really hard to do these videos as I have to use my own money to buy these devices and phones and edit my own videos. I also have 2 jobs aside from my 2 YouTube channels, which is cocomarTech and my real estate. So I really appreciate if you support my channel just by watching or sharing. Anyway, let's go back to our review. In terms of benchmark scores, it scored a single core of 159 and a multi-core of 941. In comparison, the Redmi 9T, which has the same price with the Oppo A15s, scored 309 for the single core and 1,348 for the multi-core. And the Cherry Mobile S9, which is almost half the price of the Oppo A15s, scored 155 for the single core and 806 for the multi-core. So in terms of benchmarks, it doesn't really look that good at all relative to its price. And I can say that it does feel slow compared to the phones within the same price range, but it's not super slow trashy at all. The speaker is also nice. It's loud and it doesn't distort at full volume. I'm not really an expert for sound qualities, but here is a sample speaker test for you to judge. For the battery, it has a 4,230 mAh battery and it performs good. I lasted a day based on my weeks of testing this phone, and it really depends on how you use your phone. Playing all day will leave you around 10% of battery at night, but if you're not a power user, you'll definitely last a day. A game of Mobile Legends will eat around 5 to 10% depending on the length of the game, and a game of Wild Rift will be around 7 to 12%. Charging speed is also slow as it only supports micro USB charging with no fast charging, and the charger brick included is also a 10-watt charger, so charging for 60 minutes will give you around 39%, and charging from 0 to 100% will take around 165 minutes or 2 hours. The Oppo A15s is running ColorOS 7.2 on top of Android 10. The ColorOS is cleaner than the previous versions and I really like it. You have lots of pre-installed apps and minimal bloatwares, but it also has cool and useful functions such as you can set the power button to wake up Google Assistant, an assistive bell like the assistive touch of iOS, and game space where the phone limits the lags and tries to speed up your games when playing. Lastly, let's talk about the cameras. The Oppo A15s has 3 rear lenses, a 13 megapixel f2.2 main wide lens, a 2 megapixel f2.4 macro lens, and a 2 megapixel f2.4 depth sensor. It's kind of disappointing that it doesn't have an ultra-wide or telephoto lens, but the good thing is, the main lens is really good. The colors are vibrant if you're into that, details are sharp, and the contrast is just right. This is a great camera, but it still lacks flexibility such as using an ultra-wide or a telephoto one. Yes, there's a 2x and 5x digital zoom, which are both okay, but they're still digital solutions which limits the quality of your photos. The macro lens is just okay. You can get close to the subject around 7 to 10 millimeters to get a properly exposed and focused subject. For me, it's still a gimmick since it's just 2 megapixels, but it's still fun for me. The depth sensor does a great job of giving separation between the subject and the background, but it's kinda slow when taking a photo. So taking a photo of a running child or a moving dog will be blurry at most times, but when it takes a focused photo, the portrait shots are really good. This is a selfie video test for the Oppo A15s and it can take up to 1080p 30 frames per second. So you can comment down below what do you think of the video quality for the selfie camera, the stabilization, the audio quality built-in from the built-in microphone, and the overall picture quality, the dynamic range, the contrast, the colors, and my skin tone. This is the main rear lens video test for the Oppo A15s. So comment down below what you think of the quality, the stabilization, the contrast, the colors, and the overall experience just when watching this video. So basically from here, it's not really stabilized, so there's no stabilization installed on any of the lenses. And the dynamic range for the main lens is just okay. And you can also do a digitally cropped zoom. Here is 2x and here is 5x. Overall, the cameras are good enough for the price except that it lacks flexibility. The Oppo A15s is priced at 7,990 pesos here in the Philippines and the global price is around $159. So, is the Oppo A15s a good phone? Do I recommend this one? This is a really hard decision as I have tried a lot of entry-level smartphones such as Xiaomi, Tecno, Nokia, and Infinix with better overall performance. But if you really like the Oppo brand, then it's still a good buy. But if you're not loyal to Oppo or a certain brand, then I recommend checking out Redmi 90, Poco M3, Nokia 3.4, and more. I'm not saying that I'm not recommending this phone. Again, it's still not a bad buy. I'm just saying that to keep your options open as you must perform your own due diligence for your next new phone. So that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to follow the instructions to win this phone. I'd like to thank everyone who supported me in this YouTube career, and I'll try my best to improve my videos because you deserve better. My name's cocomarTech and I'll see you in my next video. Stay safe.